Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to Drawing Down the Dragon. I'm Snappy, and thank you for joining me for our monthly reading for December 2025 for those with strong Cancer placements. So, if you have Cancer as your sun, your moon, or your rising, this is the reading for you. And let us invoke Apollo and the Muses and ask them to shine their light upon us, to guide us throughout our days, and to help us to realize the beauty of our dreams. So, Apollo and the Muses, what is today's empowering and inspiring message? Let's take a look. All right, Muses inspire. What's the message for Cancer? All right. And our center card is the Seven of Cups, debauchery, illusion. Heavy energy, right? This is all about the masking of pain with limited forms of pleasure. Distracting ourselves from the real issues, not facing that which makes us discomfortable, not dealing with the harshness of reality, instead disconnecting with things that offer us a distraction, with limited forms of pleasure and other types of seeking. And this energy is abusive of the self, abusive of others, and it ultimately leads to lots of degradation and waste and pain. And this energy tends to compound upon itself, right? It tends to manifest worse and worse pain. And the pleasure that we once received becomes less and less and less. So in the face of this energy, we really have to come into discipline. We have to recognize the need for virtue and to take responsibility for our actions and to take responsibility for defending ourselves so that we're not being taken for granted. But ultimately, we need to come back into loving harmony. We're one away from that pleasure. This is overindulgence, though. If we can come back into that balance, we can receive that ecstasy that leads to true fulfillment. Here we are in the filth and in the mud. Let's see. Wow. What do we see here, though? Why are we confronting this energy in this moment? We're recognizing that this is one of the major roots of our problem. The Four of Wands is really powerful energy, completion energy, the coming into true self-recognition, the beginning of conversation with the highest personal muse, the genius, right? When we engage this energy, we recognize our true core self, who we are and what we want, where we need to go and what we need to be doing. What becomes apparent is the problems, what's holding us back. And this is our heavy energy, right? We need to face this. We need to bring this back into flow and to break out of these wasteful patterns of abuse. Wow. And look at that. The issue is one of the waters, right? We have the primal elemental water, the hangman, the 12, the 3, the magic that takes us into harmony, right? Really intense energy, the hangman, right? This is all about learning and recognizing that we are not in flow and that we have to face our fears and make the sacrifices that are needed. There's no better energy to face the 7 of illusion and debauch than the hangman. For the hangman faces this energy with honesty and with truthfulness. It gazes upon it. And rather than avoid the harsh problems, it faces the hard problems head on. We recognize that we have to flip our perspective, see outside of ourselves, understand where the real problems lie, and we have to do the painful actions, right? When the 7 is here, we've been avoiding this problem because it is something that brings pain. It is something that is uncomfortable. It may require a true facing of ourselves in the mirror, but this is what we do. We face ourselves in the mirror. We engage this energy with loving honesty. We take account and we change course. We change course. We come back in the flow. We recognize we're not in harmony in the waters and we pursue harmony. And we do that by taking responsibility and making the adjustments that are needed. Wow. And look at that. The lover's path, the magic of the 6. Profound energy, the perfected middle path. True loving refinement, committed energy, right? The lovers is all about committing to that process of true loving engagement, right? It's not enough to recognize who we need to be. We have to want to become them. We have to see that lover, see that divine muse in the heights of the ideal, and commit to that empowered transformation, right? We have to sacrifice our basal self and reach to the heights of the stars, right? The lover's card is all about shedding our ego, seeing ourselves reflected in the other, and going through that process of transformation, of refinement, of reforming the divine androgyne, of coming in to our true self, right? Of being that fulfilled full self, which is in multiplicity, which is in understanding and connection with others and with nature, right? Really, really profound energy here, right? It's that lover's path that we walk, and the lover's path calls us to see who we truly are and what we truly need to do, and to take the actions that are needed, to come into flow, to face our fears, to confront our deepest sense of self, to confront that which makes us uncomfortable, and to take responsible action, to do the disciplined thing. If we are addicted, we break the addiction, right? If we find ourselves in overindulgence, we stop indulging. We change our course. Wow. And look at this profound energy here, right? New beginnings, new opportunities, new transformation, right? This is profound energy. The ace always signifies something that leads to true, profound growth and achievement, wealth and abundance. But in the ace energy, this is something new, something we must seize hold of, something we must recognize and pursue. We have to take this energy and cultivate the power of our mind and of our will, and see it to the heights of achievement. If this energy was truly in the 9, gain, or in the 10, wealth, accomplishment, what would we have created? What will we be using that power for? What are we engaging this? What is this about, right? What are we building? What is our purpose here? This is profound, right? But we're seeing that that lover's path is leading us into this new beginning, into new work and new engagement in the earth. When we can truly commit to this energy, it finds us here doing profound work, breaking out of the waters by coming into active engagement, pursuing our true self by coming into active engagement. Yeah, and look at this. This is a true transformation, right? This new beginning, this new opportunity, it's going to lead us to new places, and it's going to require us to commit, require us to let go of the past, right? This is truly transformative, right? The death and the hangman are here, right? The death is the energy of the 13, Hecate, right? The magic of the crossroads, the energy that calls us into true transformation. This is unavoidable, energy that must be faced, inevitable. And it signifies the ending of one path and the beginning of something new. To truly walk the lover's path is to engage death, is to shed the ego and to transform, to be reborn in one's truest, highest image. But we have to do the work that leads us there. We have to walk through the gates, make the changes that are needed, shift our perspective, come into loving flow and harmony. Wow, wow, wow. And we do it for her. The Princess of Discs. Beautiful energy, Cancer. The Princess of Discs. The Earth of Earth, right? The divine child. Power, potential, destiny, and motion. When we see the princesses, they always represent new life and generation. Either profound children or profound created works. Either new businesses, new art, new ideas, something that lives beyond ourselves, something that's created in community, something that blossoms and has a life of its own, right? Real beautiful energy here. And look, the lovers will lead us into this profound creation. When we can be in that harmony, we come into this profound, beautiful energy. So much opportunity and potential here. So much power, right? We're seeing the beginnings of such beauty, right? And so much opportunity. This ace will be realized when we can commit to the princess. For the princess is the power that brings the ace to the completion, that takes that energy to its heights. But we have to nurture her as she nurtures this. Real profound magic here. Wow, 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 wow. Right? Where does this lead us? Oh, man. The Four of Cups. I have a sense that for many this will be a child, right? The Four of Cups is luxury. But this is all about those core foundational relationships in our life, the core foundational partnerships, our true empowered family, whatever that means for you. And these are the people that stay with us through the changing of the cycles, that inform us and uplift us and empower us, right? Really powerful energy. But often this energy is so comfortable, so fulfilling that we stay in it. We don't seek to move beyond it. And we find ourselves in this stagnant, limited flow, right? But what I'm seeing here is there's a transition. We're moving out of that debaucherous energy and we're coming into this core foundational energy, right? We're going back to the root. We're focusing on that which is important. We're recognizing our truest desires, the core relationships, right? We're nurturing them. We're breaking out of this debaucherous energy by coming into focus and loving connection, prioritizing that which is most important. Oh, wow, this is wild. We have the art card, Sagittarius. And the art card is the consummation of the lovers, temperance, right? It is the birth of the divine androgyne. It is true empowered creation. Look, that art card is leading to the birth of the princess, right? The creation of that true empowered family. Wow, this is where that lover's path leads us. When we can face the gates of death and make the changes that are needed, we can become that true empowered creator, project our will into the future and see that energy blossom, grow, and become a profound life unto itself. This is incredible energy, incredible energy. So much creative power here, Cancer. But the key is breaking out of this energy of wastefulness, of debauchery, of illusion, of not facing our fears and our pains. We have to make sacrifices. We have to do what is necessary. Come back into ourself, gain that new perspective, willingly make the changes that are needed in order to pass through death and to create profound art, in order to walk that lover's path in true empowered refinement, in order to see that ace to completion, to see our will realized, to be empowered in that loving familial connection, right? What's holding us back is this illusion. It's this debaucherous energy. And in the face of debauchery, we are called to empower ourselves, to change, to break out of this, to commit to that lover, to commit to the muse, to commit to true empowered creation, to walk the path and to do the hard work, to change our perspective and to create new life with love and true power. Wow, 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 wow. What a beautiful reading. I hope that resonated with you, Cancer. And I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful December. Much love. Take care.